Hi guys, TOLoneWolf here, playing some Attack the B-Team on Nikozi's server. He's a Hypermine member, and he invited everybody from Hypermine to come on and play if they wanted to. So I've been having some fun with it, and decided I'd finally actually record something for once. So we'll see how long that lasts. Anyways, this is the entryway to my base, sort of. So got some enhanced portals here. One with a dialer to be able to dial to different locations, and then we got the other one that just has the modifier so that I can use quartz and go to the nether using that instead. And we got another type of transport here. We got the waypoint blocks. These are pretty interesting. You place these down in 2x2, and then you activate them and you name them first, and then it'll give you a list when you right click on it of the other waypoints that you know of. So there's actually other waypoints in the world that I don't have access to, because you have to go onto them and touch them to discover them, and then they'll be added to that list, which is pretty cool. Neat way of transport. And then over here, kind of a starter Galacticraft launch pad. The launch pad blocks would actually go on this 9x9 or 3x3 grid here next to the fuel loader. And we got a come on, fly. There we go. We got a refinery down here, and then an oil fabricator to supply that with fuel, and then we're just using solar power to generate power for all three of these machines for right now. Probably change that later on. Then I've kind of split the base up into a few parts here, and staircase go down in a few spots here. And over here is kind of the main area that you use with the machines, these advanced genetic ones. I'm going to move into a building over there. Might be able to do that hopefully this episode. And got a bed with some healing crystals around. They're pretty cool. These things will heal your character if you place them super fast, and they'll take damage though over time, so eventually that'll disappear if I take enough damage. And then I got Project Red network set up for a limited amount of storage capacity. Right now it's hooked up to some of the farms over there, the storage back there, and one of the farms over there. And then we got some main resources here, messing around with some guns, and checked out the little robot things. Actually, that's a huge robot. Pretty ridiculous. And then got some elevators all over the place here to get around. Got a smeltery down here. Primarily use this to make the clear glass from Tinker's Construct. I really like that glass compared to the chisel mod. Has the glass texture like that in it, and I don't like those type of textures. And for right now, I have a lava fabricator up there that feeds lava down into the smeltery. Right back there's the fuel tank. And then here I'm making smooth stone with this igneous extruder and making obsidian with this other one, so that I have a bunch of that. And we'll go check out the farms over here. I got some of the essence berries, running with a harvester to collect those. I just threw down some nether wart recently, just so that I had it growing. And then I got reeds and some of the berries over here. These berries grow really quickly, and the neat part about the harvesters is it will actually harvest these ones up here as well. So it like checks these and looks all the way up here, whereas normally they'd only check the first block, but they kind of treat it like cactus and like vines, so they check all the way at the top, which is really nice. And then we got some of the red power, or Project Red stain trees here. I've got almost all of the saplings for one. The plan is to extend this in some way to have all the different colored trees and collect the saplings so I can make a bunch of the circuits using these dyes. And these have been kind of interesting. One of the updates we had, the trees, I had a couple of trees grow here, and the harvester actually was full of saplings at the time, so it was fine, so it wasn't trying to cut the tree down. But as soon as I emptied it out, it went to cut down the tree, and it was after an update, and some of the metadata on the logs, the actual logs of the tree, were messed up. So when it went to cut down the tree, it would keep crashing the server, which kind of sucks. I had to MC edit those out. We got a cow making some compost to quick grow the trees, and this thing's been shut off for a little while because it's full of saplings. Then over on this other side here, we got the mob farms. Threw down a beacon with regeneration for now there. Probably move that into a better location. Here I have a slime farm to make mob essence for the rest of the auto spawners that I'm going to be using. I got a simple wool farm back here. Not sure what I'm going to do with these. Might get rid of these and put something else in. And, oh, come on, fly. Fly. There. Oh, nope. Come on. There we go. Sometimes the flight is a little glitchy. Got some rednet cable going up here. This is the brains of this system here. Down below we actually have another component. We have a mob counter, and that will emit a redstone signal based on how many mobs are actually in the system. So I'm using this lever here as a master on-off switch and feeding the mob count into here so the system doesn't actually over-generate slimes when it's running. And then this comparator from Project Red is sending a signal into this line as well, and when it'll actually read the contents of this tank. Now it reads it a little funky. It does 100 or 1 bucket's worth of liquid first. So like if this says 1000, it won't send out a signal, and then when it says 2000, it'll send out a redstone signal of 1, which is a little confusing. I'm not sure why it does that, but it does that in that way. And so in here is some of the logic. This is picking up the signal from the mob counter down below, and it's sending it to the variable 0. Then in the next one, we're counting the amount, and we're saying if it's less than or equal to 15, the signal is off. If it's greater than, it will send a signal to vars 1. And then this is our input for the liquid count right there. So if the liquid count is equal to, or less than or equal to 12, it will allow the system to run, and then it sends that variable to number 2. And then we compare 2 and 1 to see if those both are on. Then we send a yes to variable 3. And then this is our lever down there for input. And here's our var3. So if var3 is 1 and our lever is turned on, it allows the signal to go to var4. And then finally we take var4 and send it down to the auto spawner through a inverter. So when the signal is off, it turns the auto spawner off by inverting the signal. So when there is nothing coming in here and nothing coming through that, or sorry, when this redstone lever is on and the mob count is not too high, it allows the system to run and generate slimes. And since the tank up there is full of mob essence, the farm automatically shuts itself off. And then this is kind of just a generic spawner I've been using for now. This one is set up for gas. With the auto spawner, they need a 5x5 area to spawn in, and centered right in the middle is this autonomous activator, which is a very useful tool. If you set it to left click with a sword, you can actually spawn gas in here, and it'll spawn them right on top of that, which would kill them pretty much instantly. Let's see, make sure that's on. So I'll go ahead and show you here quick. It'll take a little bit for that counter to go down. Any second now it'll kick in, and then it'll start. That torch might actually be interfering with the, yep, there it goes. And since my sword has looting on it, I'm getting extra gunpowder and gas tiers. Oop, looks like this guy's glitched out a little bit here. Just gonna give him a little bump if I can. Oh. Oh well. Fix that later. Anyways, you can see got plenty of gas tears from that. And settle down in there, guy. Oop, getting a little lag, that's why. Oh well. And then up above that, oop, come on flight. There we go. Above this we got a smeltery that has a little bit of blood in it and a lot of emeralds. And I'm pumping the emeralds out using some thermal pipes here with a filter. You use a bucket of liquefied emerald to make the filter in here. And then in this one here I got the blood so that it pulls it out and it all fills into this pipe before it goes back into the smeltery, and then this timer every once in a while turns it on. Because the way the smeltery works is whatever liquid is on the bottom is the one that you can pull out. So in this case the liquid emerald is the one on the bottom, so I can pull it out. And up here I just got one with a villager in it. And when you smelt villagers down, they give you liquefied emerald. Little bits of it anyways. You can see when they take damage, they put emeralds in there, which is pretty cool. And now that we've used some of the farms, this one's turned on because the level of this has dropped. So these will get killed off by the grinders down here if they have power. Now this is an issue with thermal expansion. Seems like the power net has issues with reloading chunks for some reason. Oh, there we go. So every time I come back to this area after leaving my base, it needs to be reset, which is kind of annoying. Speaking of which, I probably should reset this one. It's always the same spot too, so I can always break this one and then the lava fabricator and all my machines upstairs get power again. It's very weird. Down here we have, this was going to be an auto crafting section, but there's an issue with these stupid crafting pipes. They take so much CPU resources and eventually just lock the server up on crafting, which is really too bad. Then I got the starter power here using furnaces and wood from the tree farms over there, making charcoal, and then that fills up the steam dynamos. And I made one of these steam turbines. Pretty sure this is only supposed to work on actual steam and not water, but it seems like the API or whatever is broken on the MFR steam turbine and the biofuel generators, because the biofuel generators are only supposed to work on the biofuel, but turns out you can pump any liquid into them right now, so a little bit cheaty, but it's the only good power source I've come across in this pack so far. Let's see, I think that about wraps up everything I've done here. Let's see, we've done that, and that, yeah. Show the farms, show the beacon. Oop, come on, fly, there we go. Oop. I'm using the advanced genetics flight, and it's a little buggy when it comes to kicking on and off. Don't know why it's so messed up, but anyways, here's the place that I'm planning on moving the genetic machines from over there up to here. Probably put them over here in a line so that they auto feed in. Planning on putting an auto spawner here so that you can spawn in a mob and use a scraper on them to get the little genetic genes off of them. Then you run through the machines and get the traits. I've got most of them, but I haven't done some, and I want to get the rest of them, I think. Like from the witch, you can throw potions indefinitely. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to cut and probably start working on that, maybe. So I'll catch you in a bit. Alright, I've gathered some of the materials in these chests here, and planning on using this block type for the walls, I think, and this connected texture for the floor. Use this on the doorways here and here. And I'm going to have clear glass so you can see into the auto spawning room here. Have a couple of drawbridges, 3 of them, so that you can get in there and change out the spawning. Use the MFR conveyor belts on the floor in here, because at least Endermen don't like the slime channels because they act like water on mobs. They're a lot nicer, but because of the teleporting, can't use them there. So let's see here. Let's grab some bricks, and not sure what I'm going to do with the roof just yet. Might try to put some kind of skylight in there. So planning on switching these all out, and hopefully I can run the wiring inside the wall. If not, it's not a big deal. I can just run it behind and put in another layer of wall to cover it up. And if you put your blocks inside the chisel, it doesn't take durability. But if you right-click on it in World, or left-click on it, I mean, then it uses the durability on the chisel. And it's just as easy to do it in your inventory like that. So I'm probably going to cut here and come back when I got some more of this laid down. Alright, I finished up the room. Got the spawner room set up with the clear glass on the sides. Gotta go with solid ceiling because of zombies and skeletons and all that taking damage from the sun, so we don't want that to happen. This is where we're going to put the auto spawner and the auto scraper and then a few of the other machines there and the doorway. So let's start off by grabbing these machines and let's put some of them in. So put that there. See, the analyzer goes next. Get rid of these. Centrifuge we're going to put up on top. See, the combiner goes last. Stupid things get in my way. DNA extractor, DNA decryptor, auto splitter, combiner, splitter, and breeder. There we go. That's the order we want them in. So we'll do that, and that, and let's see here. That's where the chests and stuff go. I'm going to put the manual splitter up there. Automatic one there. Breeder goes next. And finally, our combiner. Let's see, we need a storage. I'm going to try this out. These. And that should do it. Pop that in there. Get this in here. Get a wrench out. Set that to extract mode. That should work, hopefully. That should auto feed into this machine. And we have auto output upgrades. So this will output from this machine into this one if you have these upgrades. And same for a valid inventory. So all these machines will output into this, which is good. So now we can automate the process and they'll all get into the combiner, which is the, well, maybe I don't want them into the combiner. Let's take that one out. We don't want that one, I suppose. And we'll put some of the overclockers in later once we figure out what the speeds are that we need. And this thing's not very useful, but first, it's one of the machines, so let's just toss it there. Let's look at your genetic stuff so you can find out what you already have. Let's see. We need the spawner and tesseract. And let's cover up those pipes. Hopefully this looks decent. That should work, I think. Yeah, so it's turning on. Good. Get those off the bar. Put these in here. And drop down here. Come on, flight. There we go. Put the spawner there. Oop. Shift and space so you can hover. This should be all set up, I think. Receiving, receiving. Don't respond to signal because we're not going to use that. Yeah. Should be all good to go. Had kicked on because some of the mob essence filled up the machine, so that's working properly. Right, yep. We're going to use exact copy for all our mobs just so that it's an even amount, because for some things like the wither skeleton you need to use exact copy mode, and I'm going to have a timer system hopefully, that works for this, so you only have one at a time. Put these in here, so this is going to be our doors. Going to give them a look at that. Each of them. Some clear glass. And let's see here, we need 3 each. And you can use your scroll wheel. Just scroll up and it'll put one item for each scroll into an inventory. Same thing if you do it the opposite way, it'll put it into the opposite inventory. Like that. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Let's grab some wire and I'm going to use a toggle latch here. And I'm going to use a white illuminated button here to do the controls. And let's run this out the back here for now. Unfortunately, the chisel blocks, I can't make them into micro blocks, which really is kind of disappointing, but there is a config option for it, but I don't think we'll be able to change it. Let's see. Need that. Come here. Need that to go in one more. That's input, so we'll change that. Now you can use a screwdriver, but I don't like having to use it as much. Shift space to hover. Now that should toggle the door when we press the button. Oop, come on, a little bit of lag there. There we go. That way we can get in and out to change out the spawner thing in there. Let's see, so we're going to use an RS latch and a timer. Not sure exactly where I'm going to put the button yet. I'm going to cut and figure out where I'm going to put that. So be right back. Alright, I think I figured out where I want to put it, and I'm actually going to move the button for the door down as well, so that they're in kind of the same area here. So we're going to have that one for the door, and this one for the spawning of the mobs. And we'll break this up here. I love this red alloy wire. The fact that you can go up walls and the extended range, and the fact that you can hide it inside a micro block is really fantastic too. Let's see. Is that where our control is? Yes, it is. That's fine. And the other one there. Let's see. RS latch. Nope, wrong one. I want toggle latch. And that is incorrect. Now let's use our screwdriver this time to make it faster. There we go. Get that out of the way. And will this connect around the corner? I think it does. It didn't in the past, but I think they fixed it now, which is really awesome. And we'll see if that works. Lag again there. Oh, yep, there it goes. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of lag there. Looks like that one received a signal from the button press. Let's see what we can do about that. I guess let's move this out of the way a little bit more. Off to the sides. Oop. There we go. And put these over here instead. That way we don't get interference from them. Oop. The Advanced Genetics Flight is what I'm using, and it's a little buggy when it kicks in. It's got a little bit of a delay, not sure why. And it's kind of irritating, but the nice part is you know you're not going to take fall damage when you do fall down. Let's see, you don't need that there. That was correctly in and out. Yep. Right. There we go. Doors shut. Doors open. And I'll hook that up to the timer. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Timer and latch and screwdriver and wire. Let's see. So there's the scraper. So we kind of want to leave some room for that. And some room for the RS latch here. This looks like a good spot right there. Let's see, rotate that. The output goes to this block. And let's see, so that's going to be its default state. Now hopefully, does that trigger this correctly? This does. Alright, that's good. That's just what we wanted. Now the timer is going to, see, that's the line in that triggers it. So we want to do that. Oop. There we go. So that'll shut the timer off. We'll figure out the timing later. And control line. I want this the other way, so shift. Oop, that was kind of weird. Didn't light up right away. I don't think it swapped sides, did it? There it went. There it switched. So now the timer should be able to go on the inside. And should be disabled. What's going on there? Oop. There we go. That's better. And now we can turn it on just by running a line here. And up to the button. There. Now that should turn the auto spawner on for a brief second. Yep, there we go. Like I said, I'll figure out the timing later for that. Let's see, so we got this all set up. Yeah, so I'm going to cut and figure out the timing and make it day. Alright, so I think I got the timing figured out for this thing. I'll go and show you what I've done underneath here. I've hooked up the power and item transfer from the auto scraper, tested it out a little bit, made sure it worked. So the timer I have set to 12.75 seconds. Sweet, there we go. And I've put covers here to prevent anything that's shorter than a 1 block high mob to accidentally spawn down here, because they can still spawn in these 1 spaces down here because the auto spawner is in the floor, unfortunately, but it's to make it level with the rest of the stuff. I put in some belts here and moved them back and hooked them up to the button with the door. So when you press that, any mobs that spawn on that spot will be pushed back, and since the spawn is 2 and 1, those would be the 4 sides, so that they can only spawn 3 out on this side, which would be right on top of those belts. So they should be pushed into the center on to the auto scraper. And I had to move the tubing over to here, because if you inject in the bottom, it goes on the right slot, which we don't want. And the auto scraper is a little buggy. It every once in a while will not do its job, so you have to break and replace it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to deal with that. I'll just break it and replace it with a pick later on. And so I got that all wired up. Let's see, I think I got those in there, didn't I? Yep. So that's, whoop, a little bit of lag again. That went a long way. Yep, there it is. So we're processing some zombies. Let's put some overclockers in these machines here. Let's do 2 each, I guess, for now. And 1 in there for that. So that is working. Looks like I might have forgotten to put the auto eject into that one. No. Looks like it's not going to detect that as an inventory. That's too bad. I'll have to deal with that later. Might be able to just pipe it underneath here. We'll try that out in a second. That was a decent speed. Looks like this one could use an upgrade yet. Got a couple more. And so the idea is that should auto feed into here. If it was a regular chest, it would detect it correctly, and then we can just feed it into the auto splitter with that, and put another upgrade in there. Looks better. And since that was automatically done, all you get is the basic gene, and that's a basic gene, so we don't want that one. There we go. Here's one with a non-basic gene, so we'll run that through the manual one so we can get the resistance. And then we'll take that and place it in the breeding side. And that breeds pretty decent, so we'll keep it at that speed. Now you'll get this organic drops in that machine, this machine, and this machine, and you'll just have to manually empty them out. For right now, they're not good for anything, so you'll just want to get rid of them. Let's see here what happens if we put some item ducts on the bottom side of that. I think it pulls out of the bottom of that. Can't remember for sure though. And we'll just put a lever on it for now. Should take care of that. Yep, there we go. So we got that on. It's going in the auto splitter and it's getting auto bred. Yep, so everything's working there. And let's see, here's what I want. Empty syringe. We'll take some blood and centrifuge that. I already have the resistance gene, but this is just to make sure that everything's working correctly. And so I can test the speed of this machine with the correct amount of upgrades in it. And let's see here. How are we doing on input? Might be out of materials. Yeah, we'll see here if we have enough. I have to run another zombie. We'll just get him going right away. Yeah, I got the net in there, so we'll put those away. I want the overclocker still, though. And, give it a second shot there. Guess I'll have to mess with that timer just a little bit more. Oh, one short. Figures. There we go. And he took damage, which means the auto scraper is doing its job, so yep, there we go. And the reason why we're using exact copy is if we want to spawn a ghast in there or something, then we can spawn it in with low health, so it'll die from the scraper killing it, so we don't have to scrape it all the way down, because it takes a long time to do that. And we got one more, yep, we'll shut that off for now. Bam, completed. Alright, now we'll just combine that, and yeah, we'll put one upgrade in there. That's good, and centrifuge it again, and we'll upgrade that, upgrade this a few more times. Let's see, put one more in that, there we go. And now we could just shoot ourselves again, and that would give us the trait. And then you always want to take a blood sample afterwards, so that you can put it in the chest, because if you die, you'll lose the trait. And that way you can just take the syringe and re-inject yourself later on. Let's see, I'll just put this in front of there. We can put our safari nets and stuff in here. And our extra stuff for this mod. Alright, well, that's it for this episode. Hope you guys liked it. Catch you later.